3, 2, 1.
Here we go!
That gets me every time. Oh,
Every time, Andy. Every time.
It just gets me right here. Right here. Welcome to the Dennis and Andy show. It's a Friday morning. God, it feels like we were just doing this.
It's deja vu all over again.
It is. Look at that. You did a wardrobe change. I changed the graphics. Holy crap. We are a well-oiled machine.
Like a good football team.
That's right. Oh my God, I am thirsty. Let me get a little drinking going on.
Blue Moon. You notice. Got
It's
my
5 o'clock
Phoenix
somewhere.
with my Phoenix. It's a Phoenix morning. It is bright
Phoenix
and cheery and awesome.
All right, well, let's dive right in. We're going to talk about Dexter, the latest episode. I believe it was episode 6, so there's 4 to go. And then we're going to talk about Hawkeye, which has 1 episode to go. Hyperguy's using the house. There is a video right now, and you are here, and so are you. So Dexter, episode 6, there will be some spoilers because, look, we're talking about the show. For those that aren't watching the new season of Dexter, Dexter was a show that ran for how many seasons originally? 7 or 8?
Yeah, it was 7 or 8.
Something like that. Went off the air in 2013. It went off the air in 2013. I feel like doing a wide angle for my camera, just like Dennis. Hold on. So it went off the air in like 2013 or so. It's back. Dexter New Blood. It picks up 10 years later where he's living up in upstate New York. He's just trying to lead a life under a different name. His name's Jim now. And he's putting his serial killing past behind him until this dude shows up. And he's kind of a dick. So Dexter takes him out. And then the big wrench thrown in is Dexter's son, who is now 16, Harrison, shows up in town. And that creates a little bit of conflict. Dun, dun, dun.
Dexter is a good... I was good. I'm going to be honest. I was a little nervous because the original run of Dexter was just a really great show. So to pick up 10 years later and to pick up with a new cast, and I'm like, man, I just don't know if the writing's going to be there. I just don't know if they're going to be able to pull this off. Short of it, they sure did. The writing is fantastic.
It's got the same, I don't know. I don't even know. I never even looked into this because the writing is so good. I don't even know if it's the same writing team or not, but the way they worked his sister in, because if you watch the original show, his sister died. She's basically worked in as just something he sees, Dexter's not all there in the first place. And it's somebody, they worked it in where it's somebody he bounces off of talking to and stuff, even though obviously she's not really there. She's just his imagination. So they're able to bring that actress back. Harrison, his son, definitely has some dark roots going on as well. And I'm not talking about his hair. I'm talking about he's an angry young man. you know.
He's got a lot of issues, just like his daddy.
And you know, you have to kind of think that, is he this way because of quote unquote genetics, or is he this way because Dexter left him? You know, what if Dexter never left and stayed to raise his son, you know, and stayed in his life? Would the kid be this way? Because really the kid's just angry as all hell because his mom died. He goes from foster home to foster home. He grew up on his own. So he's just pissed off. So is it that, or is it he has the dark passenger like Daddy does, like Dexter does?
I do love how they call it that too, and he knows it. You know, because he does in the first one. They explore the relationship between Dexter and his father. His father understood, you know, what he had and helped him bring it out. And you know, Dexter, does he feel that way? Does he want him to cover it up? He's got a lot of emotions. It's like a pendulum because he can understand it, but we're seeing more and more of these feelings coming out, and that's going to be an issue, which is cool. I like what they're doing with it.
Right. Well, it's like you said with Dexter's dad. Dexter's dad realized, shit, if I don't help him focus this, you know, what is he, a sociopath or psychopath? Whatever. He'll just go on killing sprees. So Dexter's dad, for those that never watched the show, Dexter's dad was a cop, and he, you know, Dexter's dad is his adopted dad. You know, Dexter was found at a crime scene, and his dad basically adopted him and raised him, and realized my son's kind of a sicko. So I'm going to have him live by a code. And basically, if he's going to kill people, he's going to only do it when he knows these people are 100% guilty of their crimes. And that's what Dexter would do in the original series. He would only kill people that he knew for a fact were guilty of the horrendous crimes of basically killing people, you know. So in a way, if there was another Dexter out there, they could technically go, well, Dexter, I have to kill you because you killed people. It doesn't matter that they were bad people you killed. So in this series, it opens up where Dexter kills this guy who happens to be a son of somebody very influential in the town. It's a small town, Iron Lake, New York, which is a made up, you know, town in upstate New York. And he ends up killing the son because the son is, you know, he's a bad dude. And Dexter did find out that this dude actually was the cause of some deaths in this boating accident that could have been avoided. So that's why Dexter kills him. He doesn't just kill him because he's like, oh, this guy's an asshole. You know, no, he actually killed people. So Dexter's like, good enough reason for me. But then you find out the dad is also shady, and he is responsible for the missing girls in the town. And he's a killer himself. And Dexter finds that out. And then, like I said, Harrison comes on board, his son, and his son has leverage because his son could easily out him to the town as like, he's not Jim, he's Dexter, you know. Now, his son doesn't know his dad was a serial killer, but still. But now we're up to episode 6, where through some events, Dexter's girlfriend, who's the head cop in town, has actually found out that her boyfriend Jim is this guy Dexter, and he faked his death. Now, I got to admit, Dexter's really good at spinning things, and he got his way out of it pretty good with her, I thought.
He did. And I like the fact that, so Clancy Brown, Kurgan, there can be only one. He's, of course, the new serial killer that's in town. Yep. And he now knows that Dexter's aware of him. And that is a really cool twist, because now we can see that the two serial killers are starting to pinpoint and like a magnet, they're being drawn to each other. So this is going to end badly for one of them at some point.
Right.
And the other cool thing is they brought in David Zayas, which he played Angel Batista, one of the partners from the original show. So the detectives here giving in this small little town, he's giving a police seminar, and of course he would know Dexter, and his girlfriend, the police chief, winds up hooking up and going in and seeing his seminar on this, and then the two of them meet. So it was a really great flashback because he was a great character in the first one. So I love how the two worlds, they're doing a nice job of melding it and making everything very believable. The writing, the dialogue, everything about this is just solid. So kudos to the team for putting together a really fun.
And the thing with Harrison is, like I said, there will be spoilers. Harrison, first, there's this kid at school that's being bullied and picked on that Harrison befriends. And you're like, oh, that's cool. But then Harrison sees this kid doing drawings of basically wanting to take out some of the bullies from the school. And so he wants to take these bullies out. And Harrison, you come to find out, basically took this kid out, but tried to make it look like the kid attacked him, and he was defending himself. Now, it is weird because I don't recall I know the kids in the hospital that Harrison attacked, the nerdy kid that was getting bullied, but did they resolve why that kid hasn't narked out Harrison yet? Because he could.
Well, you mean the kid that was in the hospital?
Yeah.
No, because the parents were being forced out of town. They knew they couldn't stay there.
Oh, that's
anymore.
right.
So that's how they wrapped it up. They're basically like, we have to get out of town. The town hates us. It's death threats. So as soon as he's out of the hospital, we're just taking off and leaving. Because otherwise, because he did say they did have an arc where he was like, yeah, he's saying that's not how it happened, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but it's weird though, because if I'm going to have not everything can be bells and, or what is it? Not bells and roses, but whatever the saying is, you got to have some criticism, and you would still think that the kid himself would be telling his parents, look, this is what really happened. And what are the parents? I mean, you got to kind of think, man, the parents aren't really sticking up for their son just by going, shut up, we're moving. You know what I mean? Don't you think if your kid came to you and said, look, this is what happened. Harrison attacked me and then, attacked himself. Don't you think as the parents, you'd be like, whoa, we're going to the police with this. And instead of just rolling over and going, shut up, we got to move.
I thought it was a little weird that the parents didn't do more unless they don't believe their son, which is a distinct possibility. You couldn't really tell by the dialogue which way they felt. I know right. I would be inclined to believe my kid unless the evidence was laid out there.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things where, and who knows, there's 4 episodes left, so it could be coming back. But then in this latest episode, Harrison takes it up another notch because what's the actor's name again? That's the dad that's kidnapping the girls.
The Clancy Brown?
Clancy Brown's character has basically befriended Harrison. Harrison was about to leave town again. And Clancy Brown's character basically talked him out of it, gave him a job at this diner he owns, and is almost Harrison. It's sad because Harrison is only like 16, 17, so he's still influential or can be influenced easily. And it's sad because Clancy Brown's character is really kind of coming in and almost fostering, like, yeah, go, let it out. Whereas Dexter's like, no. So at this wrestling match in this latest episode, Harrison, beats this kid on the opposing team and then breaks his arm when he didn't have to.
And it's angry. Just like, you could see the buildup in it, like when Dexter gets angry and he's sitting there and the kid was tapping out, and all of a sudden he goes, and it was a great scene without showing too much blood and stuff. you just see the kid's arm wrench and breaking through it, and you hear the crunch and the scream, and you're like, whoa. The opposing wrestling team starts coming out there, a fight breaks out. Yeah, that went down really well.
No, Hyper Kaiju. Clancy Brown is a Wisconian sex act. Dennis knows all about it.
Wisconian. So I see Val's mentioning D&D. Yeah, guys, I play D&D. I don't know if you can tell. I played since that original box set. You know what? For those of you that weren't in the first one, give me a second. This was the shirt that I wore in the first one.
Nice.
It is. So I had the original. That was the basic box set. And then the blue one came out. I did the expert. And then I switched over to AD&D when those books came out. And then obviously second edition, third edition, 3.5, 4 sucked terrible. And now we're doing 5th edition. So my D&D books in the back, I actually have, if you like that, one thing I'll show you quick. So this is an homage if you guys are fans of Stranger Things. There's the D&D starter set, Stranger Things edition, with the Demogorgon. Hasbro put that one out. So yeah, what it is I'm getting my niece and nephew into D&D. I'm running through their very first ones right now. So yeah, I've been playing D&D since the mid 1980s. I just bought them a whole bunch of dice for Christmas. They're going to be getting a bunch of dice. Yeah, that's Stranger Things. If you saw it at your local comic shop, it's a pretty interesting one. It's very basic rules, but it just ties everything in. If you're fans of Stranger Things, they did a great job with it.
Yeah, they really did. Let's see. What are we saying here? What we need is Andy and Dennis designing a Comicsgate RPG.
Role-playing game, Andy. Did you catch what that alphabet soup is?
I get it. RPGs, role-playing game. I thought it was Raging Pussy Galore, but, you know. What are you going to do?
That would be fun, actually.
So Dexter ends off this episode where he discovers basically the room that Clancy Brown has below his house, where he keeps the girls that he kidnaps until he kills them. He sees Harrison going off the deep end. Just another great ending you just can't wait for the following week, this Sunday, to watch it. I would highly suggest watching this season of Dexter if you're a Dexter fan. So there you go.
Yep, Dexter's great. Matter of fact, I'll be sad when this season's over because they've done a great job.
Do you think they'll do another one?
I'm giving this season so far an 8.5. It's been solid. It's beat my expectations. Let's put it that way.
Do you think they'll do another one?
I want to see how they end this, to see if this is a one shot, but the writing is so good right now. I think they could continue it.
I do too. And the thing is, they're all, you always, as a TV production company or whatever, you always hedge your bets and don't want to come out of the gate and be like, we're doing Dexter again, boop, 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 multiple seasons, because you never know. But with the way this season's going, I would imagine the ratings are great. I can't imagine them not saying, we're coming back next year, and just play it out year by year. Unless for some reason the actors are like, no, damn it, we're done. I just can't imagine them signing these guys to just one season.
I know everybody likes it, and if I were the executives, I would have went over and went, bam, greenlight that sucker.
Yeah. Let's see. Hyper Guys, you says, my wife loved original Dexter, but I think the ending turned her off watching.
It did.
You got to watch the new season. I mean, I get it with the ending, because I wasn't satisfied with that ending either. I was like, really? That's how the show's going out? But, you know, they did a really good job of bringing it back. Let's move on to Hawkeye. Hawkeye is surprisingly good. I say that because Loki I thought was okay. You know, WandaVision definitely picked up steam towards the end. I still like Falcon Winter Soldier the best, but Hawkeye is really, I think it's really doing a good job. I think the biggest complaint is it's only 6 episodes. There's 1 left, and I think next week's going to have to be 45 minutes to an hour long. I cannot see it just a half hour, 35 minutes.
Yeah, if you know, we talked about it in one of the previous shows. You know, overall it's good. It's fun. There's a little bit of heart to this one. The problem is, you know, they're turning Kate into the greatest ever, and they make sure that Jeremy Renner's Hawkeye has to tell Kate Bishop's Hawkeye, you really are the best ever. And she's done nothing to actually prove that. She can shoot a bow. She doesn't have any of the fervor and any of the cool-headedness and any of the thought through that Jeremy Renner's Hawkeye does. So there's nothing deserved other than kind of like from Star Wars.
I agree with that, but I agree with everything, but I don't look at the last part you said about her not having basically the thinking through that Hawkeye does, because, you know, she's learning, and you know, he's her mentor, and he's teaching her and stuff. So that doesn't really bother me that much. Because if she was fully fleshed out mindset wise and everything, then it'd really be like, wow, where'd this come from? So that doesn't really bother me that much. But it is more Kate centric than Hawkeye centric. I get wanting to introduce the new character and stuff. I thought this latest episode where they finally, you know, well, episode 4, to backtrack, you know, a Black Widow shows up. If you saw Black Widow, you know that it's Yelena. That's her name, right?
Yeah, Yelena, Natasha's
Yelena,
sister.
her sister, is the one that shows up. And she's all throughout this new episode. It is kind of ridiculous that Kate Bishop fought her some in episode 4 and kind of held her own. I mean, yeah, the Black Widow should have just been able to slap that kid down, no problem, fighting wise. I get that she's a great archer and all that crap, but fighting wise, shouldn't have been a fight with the Black Widow.
No, it shouldn't even been close.
And you kind of got the sense in this latest episode, because there was a scene in Kate Bishop's apartment where Natasha's sister, Yelena, was talking to her and basically said, look, next time I'm going to have to basically take you out. So, you know, that's fine. You find out who hired Yelena to, because her whole reason for being there is to take out Hawkeye, because in her mind, it was Hawkeye that killed, you know, Natasha. When, I mean, oh, you also find out too that Natasha's sister Yelena was one of the ones that was blinked out in the blink, you know, the snap, and they showed that pretty well in the beginning of the episode as well. I thought, you know, explaining
that was the one thing when my wife and I were watching. I was like, you know, it would be nice if we got to see that, and they did this in the show. Because I said They haven't done it in any of the shows or movies yet, really. They talked about it, but you never saw it. They did it well, and I thought it was really great how they did the blip. She disappears for the 5 years, comes back, the room's different, you see it morph. She comes walking out like, what the hell happened? In her mind, she was gone for 5 seconds, and everything was different. It was fantastic how they did it. So that was an absolute kudos. That was great.
Yeah, no, to me, that was the coolest, because they've never really shown people disappear from the blip, you know, dust away, and then she dusted right back. And I was like, holy crap. And then, like you said, the computer effects of the room, the paint, you know, in 5 years, the bathroom she was in was painted and stuff, and the decor changed, and they showed that, so that was cool. You find out in the end of this episode, and we'll spoil it because honestly, I kind of thought it was going this way, and it was rumored about on the internet anyhow. It looks like Kate Bishop's mom is actually setting up her dad,
Called
her
it.
stepdad, fiance. So it looks like she's setting him up, and she meets with the Kingpin. So
The big guy, as they called him.
that's right. So Vincent D'Onofrio is back. You don't see really anything but a photograph on a cell phone at the end of this episode. So, hopefully he'll have a bigger part in episode 6, the final episode next week. I just feel that I just hope it's not rushed because it seems like there's a lot to tie up.
There's way too much to tie up for one episode, so I'm confused. WandaVision had the same problem. A lot of the different ones are having that same issue. For whatever reason, they put unnecessary filler in the middle, and then they leave the ending and have to rush through it. I hope they don't do it because I really do want to see what they do it. But my wife was like, wow, you called it Kingpin, Kate Bishop's mom. And I'm like, yep. I said from the very get-go, she's bad. Now I said, I just want to know if she's tied in about her potential stepdad, the fiance. And they did a nice job of working that in, man, but I've got a feeling this is going to be rushed.
Well, even before the episode ended and you saw that turn with the mom, as soon as the cops were there with the dad and stuff, I'm thinking to myself, this is a setup. This is a total setup. It'll be interesting to see how it ends. I'll wait to score it until the season's over next week.
Yeah, let's wait till next week because this show's got some ups and downs. But if you're looking for it does have heart. It does have a lot of fun stuff. As actors, Jeremy, they both Hawkeyes were great.
They work well together.
Echo, she's fantastic. I mean, I love her as a character. So, acting is not an issue in this at all.
No, and like you said, the chemistry between Jeremy Renner and is it Ashley Tisdale that plays Kate Bishop?
Steinfeld.
Ashley Steinfeld, yeah. The chemistry between those two is great, and she's good. I first saw her in the remake of True Grit, and I liked her in that. She's really good, doing a good job in it. And you know what? Here's the thing. If they were to do a Kate Bishop spinoff entitled it Kate Bishop, that's fine because it's not a bait and switch. And I don't think this was a bait and switch either. It's just, it's not really Hawkeye centric in my mind. So, like if this 6 episodes was Hawkeye for like 3 of them and then introduce Kate Bishop to kind of hand the baton off, that's cool. But it's been Kate Bishop since the beginning. So,
Yeah.
But that's about it. We're going to roll out of here for the weekend. Dennis has something he wants to show. Hold on. I'm going to full screen him. Ooh, what is that, Dennis? I don't read whatever that text is.
Oh, I'm sorry, Andy. So I'm a huge Star Blazers fan. Battleship Yamato. So I wound up picking this up. I do models every once in a while because I can't find a good ship. But there's a lot of little tiny pieces in here.
Jesus, how big is that thing once it's put together?
What's that?
How big is that once it's put together?
It's only going to be about that big. It's really small. I mean, I'm feeling back like I'm going back to my Dungeons and Dragons days. Where
I was going to say with it being
my models, my figures, and hand painting them.
With it being only that big, like you showed, you should have Susie do it. She's used to handling things about that size.
Oh, I'm glad. I'm going to tell her you said that. You
do that.
And when we go to see Spider-Man tomorrow, she's going to whack you alongside the head.
I hope she does. So that's the show, guys. We hope you enjoyed it. Go check out Dexter. If you had to check out one of the two and you could only watch one of the two, I would say Dexter But if you can watch them both, if you like the Marvel stuff, you know, after everything they do, I'm pretty much into the stuff because I like to be in the know and see what's going on. I'm sure there's going to be an after credit scene on Hawkeye next week to try and lead into something else. Like Dennis said, we're seeing Spider-Man tomorrow. So next Wednesday, we're going to talk Spider-Man. We're going to talk the season finale of Hawkeye, new comics, all the fun stuff. And thank you for joining us so much. And we hope you all have a great weekend. And we will see you guys later.
Live long
Bye,
and prosper, everybody.